A huge crowd of drunk young adults wake up on a private beach after an unforgettable beach party to celebrate their college graduation. However, the unaware teenagers discovers that the sand below their feet is somehow alive and ready to devour anyone who touches it under the bright sunlight of an apparently usual spring break morning. A mysterious carnivorous thing is now patiently watching them as the death toll continues growing. The movie starts with a group of friends enjoying the first night of spring break at the beach with some of their classmates. While one of the girls, Heather, captures the party with her video camera, two of the boys, Vance and Gilbert, discover an enormous ball covered in a strange sticky substance. The celebration goes on, with all guests forced to place their phones in a bag so that the party cannot be watched online. Kaylee and Mitch, two of the friends, wake up in the lifeguard building the next morning. Jonah, Kaylee's boyfriend, wakes up in a nearby car, next to a girl named Shanda. Vance and his girlfriend Ronnie are in the back seat of the car. Gilbert wakes after being trapped in a dustbin, while Marcia, a topless female, awakens after falling asleep on a table. The rest of the teenagers, even Heather, had vanished, leaving only empty sleeping bags and beach blankets in the footprints. Kaylee notices a bird being pulled into the sand. Marcia goes in looking for Heather, thinking she has taken her top. Marcia is warned not to touch the sand, but she does so anyway. Marcia becomes clearly disturbed when she struggles to move, so Vance tries to help her, but find out that he also is not able to move when he comes into contact with the sand. To the horror of their loved ones, both Vance and Marcia are murdered ruthlessly as their bodies sink into the sand. Jonah notices the broken egg on the beach and predicts that whatever develops from it has buried underneath the sand and killed everyone over the night, including Vance, Heather, and Marcia. Since the cell phones are locked in the rear compartment of the car, Mitch and Kaylee toss raw sausages at different ends of the beach to figure out the size of the creature. When one of the sausages does not sink into the sand, everyone feels encouraged, but realizes it's a long way out. Jonah grabs two of his surfing boards to create a bridge to the table Marcia had fallen asleep on. Jonah survives, but not before the creature slits his stomach, making a wound that starts releasing pus, showing that the creature is venomous. While he is injured, Jonah observes to the others that the creature isn't going to approach the fireplace, indicating that it is scared of fire. Ronnie and Shanda try to retrieve the phones from the storage compartment of the car about an hour later, but Ronnie gets her fingers jammed in the trunk door instead. Soon after, a beach patrolman named Alex arrives. The group cautions him not to touch the sand, but is unaffected, recognizing his shoes are protecting him. When Alex witnesses the injury inflicted on Jonah and Ronnie, and the fact that Gilbert is locked in the trash can, he assumes the group is high and taunts them. Alex loses his keys in front of the lifeguard tower and gets stuck when he tries to retrieve them. He uses his pepper spray to save himself temporarily, but the shock of losing his arm makes him to fall back down, and he is pulled into the sand and murdered. Kaylee, on the other hand, manages to grab Alex's spray. Mitch chooses to go to the truck by wearing flip-flops, spraying his feet, and covering them in towels to protect them. Shanda throws a towel at him, but Mitch stumbles and smashes the boardwalk banister, causing him to fall. Mitch is then brutally absorbed by the sand monster. Kaylee takes command after a brief period of sadness. She instructs Shanda to use the damaged portions of the boardwalk as a bridge in order to reach Jonah. Before doing so, the girls manage to remove Ronnie's broken fingers from the trunk and treat her wound. When Gilbert attempts to move, he cuts his stomach on the garbage, exposing the creature. Kaylee, Shanda, and Ronnie cross the constructed bridge to Jonah. Despite Kaylee cleaning the area where Ronnie arrived, she is killed and pulled under the sand. Shanda then takes Mitch's advice and covers towels around her feet before running to the truck. She comes out on top, and the entire group is happy. Gilbert ultimately gets killed by the monster, which sucks his body through the dumpster. The monster also smashes into the truck, knocking Shanda out. Shanda wakes and relaxes at nightfall. She gets to the backside of the car, where there is a raft. Shanda opens the raft and uses it to get Kaylee and Jonah to the car. Kaylee, Shanda, and Jonah make it around and open the car door. Jonah and Kaylee confess their emotions for each other. The ground, however, shakes aggressively, throwing Kaylee out of the open door and into the raft. Kaylee is attacked by a long glowing tentacle that comes out from the ground. Kaylee manages to climb back on top of the car and makes use of two of the gas cans to set fire to one of the giant tentacles. As the creature's tentacles attempt to crush the car, Kaylee, Shanda, and Jonah lock themselves inside. After a few minutes of silence, Kaylee and Shanda realize that Jonah was dead from the wounds he received, having finally surrendered to the monster's venom. The two girls then break down at the loss of their friends who have gone. A man awakens the girls up the next morning and asks if they are all right. Kaylee and Shanda leave the car and go across the beach, noting that the thing has disappeared behind only a 100-yard diameter, 2-foot deep hole all surrounding the lifeguard tower and the beach patrolling truck. As Kaylee and Shanda walk off the shore, both of them devastated, the man calls an ambulance. The creature, discovered to be a gigantic fatal jellyfish, can be seen under the ocean, far away and moving towards another wrapped Santa Monica beach in the final moment.